Welcome to Van of Action. Today we're talking about headliners. Headliners. Welcome to vanofaction.com, where we're taking a 2018 Dodge ProMaster van and converting it to a family camper. Here we're going to show you the good, the bad, the ugly, some skills, some tricks, some things we do a little different next time. So hope you find it useful. And if you do find it useful, feel free to subscribe and like and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from folks. Come on along for the ride. Well, this has turned into one of those snowballs that just keeps rolling down the hill. I had intended initially to leave everything from the seats forward alone. I wasn't going to touch any of that, just leave it all as it came from the factory. But then I found I had to, this headliner, if that's what it's called, was wrapped over the last rib that I needed to attach the ceiling to. I couldn't just leave the ceiling boards float out in the air. I had to reach that last piece of steel. In order to do that, I had to remove this piece here. It was just a question of popping out some little plastic grommets or something, and it's a soft little piece. It comes out easy enough. It just lifts right out. Ultimately, I'll end up trimming a part of this somehow to wrap around or come up in behind the seater. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that, but I'll figure that out. That's not a big deal. There's a black plastic tray here. I should have showed you that. And there's 3 nuts over top of the lip. You remove those nuts and the tray will come out. And the tray has to come out before this liner can come out. So I didn't look online. I just undid these nuts and pulled on it and it came out. Now, according to the information online, you're supposed to remove this headliner to reach the attachments at the front of the van, or the front of the cab that are holding the plastic tray, but I didn't do that. I just pulled it, it came out. I'm not sure how it's going to go back in, but I'm not taking this guy out, I'll guarantee you that. So now that I have it opened up, which is something I hadn't planned on, but now that it's like this, I'm going to be able to insulate in here, which is good. It'll be good for sound, good for warmth. And I'm also going to pull a 12-volt circuit up to where the mirror is in case I ever want to have a backup monitor. I don't like the ones mounted on the dash. If I had one, I'd want it to be up near the ceiling. So I'm going to pull a 12-volt circuit to that spot now and just have it lead back to my control panel so that if I ever need it, it'll be there. Let's go. Okay, so what I've done is just got my finger up behind that headliner, and I found a soft spot I could push the wire into. I have no idea whether that's going to work or not. It'd be nice if it did. I couldn't find any information online to remove this light. I don't want to start gouging at it with a screwdriver. I'm sure there's just a couple of clips there that you pop out, but I'd really rather not do that. If I can get this wire in temporarily for now, that'd be great. Just leave a little bit of it sticking out or a string or something so I know it's there. That would make me very happy. But I got it up there. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, here we are up top. I've taken a coat hanger and just bent it. And I can see, I don't know if you can see it there now, but there's a red wire down there. That's the one I'm looking for. If I can hook onto it. Look at that. Look at that. I just have to figure out a way to reach it. Woohoo. Come here, baby. I'm going to get you. Happening in real time, ladies and gentlemen. There we are. I got it. Look at that. Okay. Okay. Now I just have to feed a little more up and I'll have it here. This is the plastic tray that sits above the headliner in the van, and I'm going to take it and cut it off somewhere in this square area. That's what those little nuts will go through and attach to. I want to get rid of this. I want to replace that with a nice piece of wood to match the cabinets. Around the back side, this is the mechanical connection that was holding it to the front of the van, and it looks like it's just a friction thing. The washer just slides into a slot and gets tightened up. I think we can do better than that. I'm not going to take that headliner out just to replace that. This is one of those jobs in a van conversion that you really just kind of fall into. I hadn't planned on doing any of this stuff initially. I had planned on not touching that headliner at all, but necessity made it
clear that there was no choice about it. I had to remove the headliner in order to attach the last ceiling of the ceiling boards, and then I had anticipated cutting that headliner off, cutting those holes you see off, so the liner would fall in behind the cedar boards. But then when I looked at it just now, it seems like, if I trim this properly, it just might overlap the end of the cedar, nice and neat, hide the screw holes from the cedar. I had a plan to do that anyway. It would be an awful lot of work and a pain in the neck. This just might be a really simple solution and look pretty well like it came out of the factory this way if I do it right. It's a fibrous kind of material. It's not hard, and it's not really all that soft either, but if you get a good sharp utility knife, it can make all the difference in the world. Mine was a little bit dull, so I went and I got a sharpening stone and put the edge back on it and really made it a nice, easier job. It was excellent, really cool. This is one of those things you just don't plan on doing, but when you get there, you find there's a really neat way to make it work. So now, you and I will be the only ones that know this even got done this way.
Well, this is what we came up with at the end of the day. I'm really pleased with it. Initially, I thought that I would have cut this off and behind the wood, but this is a nice finished detail. I'm happy with it. I've got to get a little bit bigger screw, a finishing screw and a finishing washer to put in there, but there's wood behind it. It's going to hold it up. It's going to look great. I'll put a piece of wood trim on here. It's going to look like $1,000,000.